Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Matt, and I just bought this 1973 MTD 990. And today, we'll be doing a revival because she's been sitting for 15 years. Now we'll give you a quick overview of this old girl and why she caught my eye and why I bought her. First things first was she's got the original plow brackets down there on the front, which tells me I can hook at least one attachment to this thing without much effort. She's got 3 out of 4 good tires on her, and she's got a bad left front. Now every one of these I've ever gotten a hold of, the left front's been bad. That's a good thing. That means she'll be a good one. Now these Ags, these have been out of production for probably a good 20, 30 years by now. So just the fact that she has a set just changed everything on my opinion of the machine. She's had some custom work lights and other things done. She's missing a 3-point everything. No lift links, no nothing, but the casting mounts here aren't cracked. So that's one thing to look for. Nice to know. She's also missing the original toolbox, unfortunately. Got a good set of snow chains out of it. And it's also got the original hood latch. These are cast, and they often break. Custom dash. Custom wiring. That switch isn't supposed to be there. I think, yep, that works. That works. Missing the knob. Valves are mostly free. She is missing the parking brake lever, so she ain't going to have that. Key switch works. Found a key for it. That battery's only 20 years old. I'm sure it's good. Fuel filter is fantastic. Great shape. Don't see any in it. It's actually a good sign. Don't know if there's much in there. I can see something. Deck stain, or worse. And we got to do a lot more than I'd like to, because that's definitely a mouse nest. And that's normally a sign over here of it continuing all the way down. So we'll set you up in the camera and we'll show you how to rip one of these apart in probably quicker time than you can do it. No, probably not. Shouldn't try to sound better because I'm not. I'm in a 20 by 12 wood building. I'm no mechanic. But it's 4 bolts, well, 6 bolts. Forgot about the dashillator. Most of my tractors don't even have that anymore. And then the shroud's about 583 bolts, but you get my point. They're simple. If you want a good hobby to get into that's not a car, just pick up a garden tractor. They're excellent just as a starter. For working on these, you're going to want a massive, massive toolkit. Like all of these right here. And you can take apart almost this whole tractor. At least the front quarter of it. You need a ratchet. You're going to need 4 sockets. 9/16, ½ inch, 7/16, 3/8. Probably an extension. Not necessarily necessary, but necessary enough to necessitate. You're also going to need wrenches of the same size, because a lot of this is bolt on top, not on the bottom, or vice versa. And if you don't have a wrench, you're just going to spin all day. You're not going anywhere. So we'll start out here by taking the grill and the hood off, and then we can finally get into the big old Briggs 16 horse synchro balance cast iron. Not much balance in them. I've had a few. But the name sounds cool. All you have to take the grill off is a bolt just like this on either side. And it goes through the frame right here. Sometimes you'll have to jack the tractor up and tilt this axle to get this all the way out, but I don't think that'll really be an issue here. You know, it sits right there, but we got wrenches. I think we'll be good today. Obviously, a bolt on either side holds the hood, and that's honestly it. And then you got the 2 up here on the dash bracket that I can't point to because I'm filming. I'll get used to this, I promise. But once you get those off, you got wiring. You can just cut that. You don't need it. I promise. Yeah, you do. And then everything will just fall off of the front, and then you'll get plenty easy access to everything you got to do under here. honestly, these tractors come apart more like a car than a lot of them that I've worked on, but that's kind of why I like them, because they get you introduced to, hey, you got to take the front clip off to do anything, but they don't introduce you to, hey, there's 5,000 bolts to do that. So they're a fun pastime in a small building like this. If you don't have big space, garden tractors, I'm telling you. Well, I probably didn't need a time lapse for the 30 seconds it took to get that hood off, but I'm honestly testing here just as much as you are testing out to see if you'll like this channel. I've never done this filming stuff before. I don't even know if I'm in frame, but we're trying and we'll figure it out. I'm working off a smartphone and an old car phone mount, and that is also hooked to a box fan. So enjoy that. I'm going to go get a ratcheting wrench because I already know what I'm in for here. Let's get all the standard ones because I just know where this is going. Yep. That's the right one right there. Do you fit? Oh yeah. You fit just right. Now, piece of advice for those of you out there watching, if you ever get your hands into one of these old MTDs, your best bet for not dropping the grill and shattering your headlights is do the opposite of what you think. Leave these up here in that are bolted to your dash. You got to be careful not to lean on it too hard, but it'll help you a ton in the long run because there's a chair over here. She ain't gonna, you know, and that'd be it for your glass. And you got a nice one, your front bezel, which this one's actually pretty straight. But it'll just keep her in, that's gone. It'll just keep her in better shape. I feel it. Where is it? There it is. Oh, do you not? Man, the shrouds in these things just stick in there. They're right up in your teeth the entire time you're working on them, and when you're in here doing stuff like this, I'm telling you, the ratchet and the sockets will come in handy. You'll just have to trust me. Yeah, you can just live there. We shouldn't need you for a minute. Oh, and one more thing. You'll need a flathead screwdriver. Preferably one that's been used as a pry bar 3,786.2 times. And the bigger one you got, the better, because these screws are just huge, and you've got to be real careful when you strip them, because they're always just super rusty. These are surprisingly going okay so far. I haven't used any penetrating oil yet on this. She must be a southern tractor. Nah, she's not. I know where she comes from. Come out of a garage after who knows how many years. Well, that big flathead, you might get lucky and it'll fit your wiring, but not in this case. So you get another like this, it doesn't look like it's been a pry bar 1,000 times. And then don't mark where anything's at. Just start taking her off of there. Oh, this has had a new voltage regulator because I can tell that terminal back there is in the wrong place, and those are a real pain because you got to take the headlights out and take the regulator off to get that out. So we're just gonna on that, and that'll take care of that problem. We'll just splice her back together and Definitely use the heat shrink, and definitely won't just twist it in electrical tape, but we'll solder it. Alright, perfect. Well, she's got a huge ground up here on the front. That's not factory. I didn't even see that until just now. Also looks finger tight. It's not. Well, I'll make it finger tight. I learned that these little guys will become your best friend when it comes to wires like this one, which you can't see, and that one, which you can't see, which I'll show you after I get these last two bolts out here. We got all the bolts out of the grill. Got most of the wires unscrewed. Well, a couple of them we had to cut, and we'll show you those in just a second. But once you get here, you know, this bar is loose, the screws are still in it to hold the grill up, and those two are completely out. You just want to go up here and get back on her a little and drop half your tools. Give her a little pick up. Figure out what in the world you missed, which I'm already seeing what I missed. I'm seeing what it's doing. And I don't know how it's doing it, but it's doing it. There's a bolt down here, and she's just got a grip. No tomorrow. And this is that part I was talking about where you might have to jack the tractor up. Might just be able to bend her out of the way. Just enough. Nah, we're gonna have to jack the tractor up. Well, that's definitely not where it's supposed to jack from, but that's what we're going with today. You only need to sit here for a minute or two. So what we're dealing with, now I'm dropping more wrenches, tilt the axle down, and that bolt will fall out. It's this one right here that's caught in this wrench. It's one of the grill holders, obviously. And then it should just walk out of here. I don't think there's anything else that should be able to hold it in. There we go. Now those two wires we cut, I'll come back here to make sure you can see what I'm talking about, which you can. There was this one right here, which goes all the way down in there. And then this ground over here, which definitely ain't factory. I've never seen that on one of these tractors. It's been, I've worked on a bajillion of them over the years. I think I've owned 4 geared ones, and no, 3 geared ones, and this will be my 5th hydrostatic. And the gears are 960s, these are 990s. Valuable information. 990s got the big fenders on them. Big old tall back tires. You can mount motors on these things. You want to put some Bogger 31s on your tractor? Get one of these. But now that we got our front cover off, I can see that this tractor is also missing some very valuable engine parts. And she's had a few questionable modifications. Like this. This is supposed to sit in behind this belt drive. There's supposed to be a screen right here. Yeah, spiders. There's supposed to be a mule drive right here. I do have a spare one of those. I think I have a screen too on one of my spare good engines, and I think I might have one on one of my bad ones too. I also have shrouds, but this has the original model number. We'll see how she improves her own airflow with that. I don't know if that'll help or hinder. Let's get this shroud off here and figure out if it's air-cooled or mouse-cooled. Now that we got you propulated up on that there fan, again, and believe it or not, you're sitting on a box fan right now, just gravity, ain't nothing holding you. Don't fall now. We're going to go ahead and start taking things like the shroud, the air cleaner, this front drive, which actually I don't even have to take this off because of these mods. Normally you got to pull these, and they can be a pain. Might not even have to do much with the starter generator, but we might be able to just walk that off. Nah, she's still tight. We'll start with the air cleaner here and That'll give us a sign on if she was maintained or not really. Man. Oh, look at this. Did I already maintain this thing? Did I work on this? No. I can't believe how clean that is. Look at that. It's like brand new. The story behind it was the guy that owned it. Apparently he ran it till like just a few weeks before he unfortunately passed away. And he must have taken good care of his girl. Aside from questionability here, that's not the right size. I was so confident. Must have maintained it pretty well. I can't remember what I was going to say there. I'll think of it later. Here's a ½ inch. These are just 1-bolt tensioners that are normally that tight. And sometimes the bottom ones will get stuck, which this one appears to have. So you can crack on those, and I think they're all ½ inch. That's going the wrong way. I'm smart. No, it's not. She's just that tight. Good grief. Is there a gap in there yet, or am I just spinning the whole thing? Oh, I'm spinning the whole thing. That means it's loose enough to move. Same thing back here. If I can. Mm-hmm. Yep. You just get the old foot in there. Yep. One good kick. Ooh. Ah, that doesn't sound good. Oh, comes right off. She's been sitting. Listen to it. That ain't turned over in a long time. Never seen aluminum work anodized. They don't rust. They stick to a belt. Quite that bad. Or at all, really. Even my first tractor, first one of these I ever had that was free, sat outside for like 20 years. Didn't look that bad. Must have been one damp garage. We got the 7/16 shroud on this one. Yep. I've seen these replaced with ½ inchers. One thing to be really leery of, when you get these mouse nests, which this shroud's already been modded on, so we don't have to worry about it here, but the bottom of these will rust out really bad and it'll hinder your airflow for your air cooling, because it pulls air up from down here and pushes it across the head and through the block back here and cools everything off. Because you got to think, your piston and exhaust valve and the intake valve, all that's just right here. So she's got to be good and cold. And if you don't have that, it ain't going to be good for it. What you're going to do with these shroud bolts is go ahead and lose half of them. And then as you go on these, you're going to put it back together, you'll learn that only 2 of them were really needed, maybe 3. I think there's like 6 that hold these on, but it's been a long time since I've taken them apart. I end up putting different engines in most of these. But this one I'd like to leave alone. After seeing this, I don't know. I have to do a part 2 on inspecting the back half of this machine. That one's already missing, which is good because there's a nut welded to the back of this one. And it very often just snaps off from rust, and then you can't get it out, and it's just a pain. Hey, that's loose. That never happens. You're always stuck on. Yeah, see, just like that. You want to lose that one, lose this one. Lose most of them. There's one hidden back here, too, behind this monstrosity of a fuel tank that you can use. Look at me, I'm a genius. I'm turning it the wrong way. Get yourself a set of, I don't know what that was, ratchet and wrenches. It'll help you out a lot. Normally you wouldn't get a ratchet in here too good and all that. You'd be fighting the angle of the ratchet because they're just better, I'm telling you. Well, that one's gone. That one's gone. One over there, down there, up here. Best thing to do is just give her a pull. Oh, you're kidding. Ain't no way. She's got the mouse nest in the bottom down there, looking pretty good. I don't even think that's a mouse nest. I think it's like chipmunks or something, but this block is spotless. Normally there's a full just apartment building right here, and it just absolutely ruins the whole face of the block. All your wiring under here just gets shredded, which just has been chewed a little bit, but not too bad. I think that'll run. And the reason you want to get these mouse nests out of here is, if you don't, first of all, the engine will overheat, but long before that overheats, this little magneto, which controls all your ignition, will get way too hot and it'll fail. And then the engine will start and run amazing for about 15 minutes, and then just and then that's it. No more spark until it cools back down. But we'll get the vacuolator in here, and we'll see what it looks like under the 13 pounds of mouse nest and cobwebs and fun stuff. Now, fair warning, this booger's really loud, so I don't know what this mic's going to do with all this racket, but I guess your ears will find out, and you'll tell me in the comments if it's bad, and then I'll just have to put some music or something. That mess is 90% cleaned up. Let's get you in here and show you a few more things on these old Briggs & Strattons and a few other things to look for when you're getting ready to fire one of these up for the first time. So when you get in here with one of these for the first time, you're going to want to ignore all this wiring, because this is the tractor. That ain't the motor. None of this is necessary for this to run. Your entire ignition system is this magneto and this points box. And what you're going to want to look for is your kill wire, which is normally right here, which it is, and that will run in there. When you kill the key, if it would focus on it, come on, where are you at? There you are. When you kill the key, it'll ground this out. I believe it's this one, and it'll take care of cutting spark for you instead of you having to come up here and yank that off yourself. These magnetos, you're going to want to check them out for missing insulation and chew marks and severe rust. These will separate and make them look bad. And you're also going to want to check the wiring back here, because this is also part of your ground. And your, I can't remember what this one's called. I think this one's off your points, and this one is actually the kill wire. I told you wrong. So this is your kill wire. This one is just your signal wire from your points and condenser under here, which we'll get to in a bit. Something else you're going to want to do is spin these over and listen for any weird clunks and see if you got compression, which I've never even spun this, so we'll see if she's blown up right now. That's a good sound out of the carb. Oh, she's got plenty. Oh, another hickory nut. Awesome. You can also look for your magnets here. Make sure they aren't cracked, split, you know. Flywheel ain't ready to fly apart on a guy. And this one looks like, from just the glance I'm taking, it doesn't look too bad. But if you see something, please let me know before I start this up and it explodes in my face. I haven't had that happen yet, but I've seen it. And once you get that figured out, you can move on to your points, or you can do the wrong thing like me, move on to your carburetor. Ooh, boy. Remember how I said there's no fuel in that filter? Found out where it went. Throttle moves, and we already pulled the choke lever earlier, so that's hooked up. We know that moves. It's down here on the back side, right there. So we'll definitely be pulling the carburetor off, and I'll do a rebuild segment on this. And you don't need a kit. If you just get you a cardboard box for a gasket, and don't worry about this leaking, because it's going to leak anyway. These flow jets, there's a little drain hole down here, and there's something that goes wrong in the needle and seat and all of that. Never have figured out what it was. Someone knows, someone told me, I don't remember. But the normal solution to, oh no, the bowl drips all the time out of the bottom, is just put you a fuel valve in there and let it run out. You won't have that problem. Well, from here we'll move on. Since that carburetor's obviously messed up, we'll start you on the points and condenser under here. See what we can show you. So all you're going to need to take this off is these two screws here. I'm honestly always nervous when I get into these, because I've never had to replace a set of points. I've normally just been able to file them to oblivion, and she'll just take, because you can do just about anything you want to a Briggs & Stratton, and it'll just keep on going. But we'll get under here and check out what we're looking for. Normally the wires that come off of this, like your kill wire, yeah, the plastic's still there actually. This piece of plastic is supposed to be hooked down here to that top screw. That's why that little flat spot's there, and that keeps it from grounding out, but it also keeps it away from everything. This one just does what most of them do and broke off and floats around, and it'll probably ground out something when I'm halfway through running it, and we'll see. Ooh, these are actually really, really clean. I might be able to just hook this up and test for spark. I'm looking at it through the same lens that you guys are, and I'm not... there's a little bit of sconge on there. So we'll show you how to get in there and get at that. And you're going to need this. This one's wore out, but it'll work. Piece of sandpaper. I've never filed points before. Don't take advice from me. Take advice from people that actually, you know, work on stuff with points. When you spin this over, real slow, it'll come up on compression, like that. And you'll see these just, if they're adjusted, they'll shut. Which I'm not seeing these do it yet. That's not a good sign, because they're worked off a cam lobe inside the engine, and if that's shot, we ain't... Oh, wait. Right there. You see it? Very little bit of movement. I'm sorry I took my head away from the camera. There's a little bit of movement right there. You probably can't see it. So you see that little bit of movement right there. There's supposed to be a little bit more than that. Oh, I'm not showing you the right thing again. There's supposed to be a bit more than that. The gap for those is, I believe, 20 thousandths. That's probably not that gap. But we'll go ahead and file those. all you're going to want to do is get your piece of sandpaper or an emery board. Go in the cabinet and steal one from your mom or grandma or wife, girlfriend. Doesn't matter. Just get your hands on one. And slide her right in between the two contacts right here, which I'll get them in there real quick since I'm one-handed right now and show you what it looks like. Closed, and then you can just work it up and down like this or side to side or whatever is easier for you. And you'll see all that dirt starting to come out of there, which I actually pulled it up a little too far. Let's see if I can put it back in with one hand. Probably not. Nope. But you get the idea. You just do that for a little while and crank her over and see if you got spark. So we'll do that and we'll get back with you. Well, I had me a pretty important phone call, so I took that and went ahead and cracked a wobble pop. Went ahead and got these points while I was at it. Now this is a mini feeler gauge. I found this in a toolbox. It was being thrown away by somebody, so I went on and picked her out. This is at 20 thousandths here. And this screw up top is your adjustulator. You turn it out and it makes the gap smaller. You turn it in, makes the gap bigger. And when that 20 thousandths fits through there with just a little bit of interference, just like that, you can hear it, you're gold. So now that those are kind of cleaned, we'll see if we got them clean enough. And we'll hook up a battery to this thing for the first time. And good news is you don't have to worry about any of this wiring. Only wires you need is that kill wire, your starter relay over here and buried under the fuel tank, so if it sparks, everything lights on fire. And your, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a couple wires to the key. She should fire if she's got spark. So let's go ahead and set you up for another fantastic filming angle, and we'll hook a battery to this for the first time and see if we can at least get it to pop. Get out of there. Get on there. All right. Okay, that is, well, that belt's in great shape. I like it. You gotta find me a pry bar. Pry bar. You know, just like we were talking about earlier. Screwdrivers are pry bars. And it apparently worked because something moved. That, yeah, it did move actually. Okay, we can tighten that down. I think that was a 1/2 inch. No idea where I'll put that one, so we'll just use the hand wrench. A bit slower. Now, yeah, that's actually got a pretty good amount of tightness to it. I can't really, I mean, it's loose, but it'll work. See if the original battery's got some juice. No. Not with it. So what do we got in here? How old is it? It ain't got a handle. What is with these people and not buying the handulators? Oh, there's so much mouse junk. Oh, that tray is rusty. Ain't seen one that bad in a while. So what do we got here? We got a Marathon Commercial Extra Heavy Duty in December of 8. So that could either be 08, which would put my guesstimation on how long it's been dead off, or 98. So that might have been, it's got a recycle sticker. We're going to go with 08. So that's the newest thing we found on the machine, and we'll boil her and see if she'll come back. In the meantime, we got my personal favorite battery ever, aside from the lack of handle. This is application for a 82, I think, Oldsmobile 5.9 diesel. Olds 98. 2 of these went in there. And they got the side post relators and the top posts. And these are great when they come with these caps, because if you want to wire like a fuel pump in, and you want to just be able to turn it on and off, you just jam the positive in there behind the little cap. Just tap her on there. She'll stay. So we'll go ahead and hook that up. Get our wires down here. And oh, yep, that's original battery cables. Look how little those are. How's that going to carry a bajillion wattages? Whatever electrical is. Oh, got a free bungee cord out of there. This is a hook. Free battery tray pieces. Normally these are one piece, but this one seems to be 3,782 pieces. So we're not going to mess with that. I think, where's our ground? Oh, wait. Wait, what? Nope, never mind. I'm looking at it wrong. I'm an idiot. Here's our positive. Get that up here. Keep that nice and separate. Ground is, I don't like where that ground is. That's not going to connect well after this many years of setting. But we'll see what we can make happen. Normally you'd want to clean these, but we're just trying to get and see if the starter generator is any good, because if the starter generator is bad, that's really going to stop us in our tracks a little bit. See if she's going to do the arc. She ain't pulling nothing, so I guess the regulator that isn't there isn't bad. She turns good. I haven't seen one like that in a while. Let's get my world's cheapest spark tester on there and see what she does. Then we'll watch that light bulb and see if it does anything. Oh, we got bright spark. This thing will go if we can find something flammable and cram down her throat. She'll pop off. Really got to drain that carburetor first, though. See, that was so easy. I know this more than likely did not have spark when we started working on it here. But that little bit of points work, and just checking all our wiring here, and that is one of the brightest sparks I've seen out of one of these systems. And I'm really not lying to you. It's one of the better ones. And it looks like a brand new set. I mean, new points, new condenser, and I don't replace those. I just sand them. If it keeps working, and it's just strong enough to make her pop off, why mess with it, right? Just a little bit for you in there. That'll be enough to make her blow black all over the shop. Open the choke. Open the throttle a little bit. Crank it again. And there we go. It ran. Let's see if it'll go again. Give her some more choke. We definitely got some work to do on the carburetor, but look at that. First time in 15, 10, I don't know, something like that years. Took right off with almost no effort at all. And as for going through the carburetor and getting it running and inspecting from here back, that'll be a part 2 for all of y'all. And I really hope I'm in frame for this, because this sounds like an excellent outro. We'll see y'all next time.